A couple of episodes ago, I talked about how we need to change our mindset to help the planet, to help the ocean, and to reduce climate change. Well, here today, we're going to be talking about something that we need to do to help buy less things and maybe buy more, not necessarily of an experience, but we're in an age of information. So maybe buying or supporting information. I'm going to tell you more about what I'm talking about on this episode of How to Protect the Ocean podcast. Let's start the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of the How to Protect the Ocean podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Lewin. This is the podcast where you find out what's happening with the ocean, how you can speak up for the ocean, and what you can do to live for a better ocean by taking action. And today we're going to be talking about what you can buy that will give you value. So not necessarily buying stuff like a product or a service, maybe a service, but something that you can buy in the age of information, something that will bring you value and maybe even peace of mind for where you put your support. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that, but before we dive into today's discussion, I want to take a moment to share something truly special with you, something that's not only environmentally conscious, but also incredibly creative and inspiring. I'm talking about OceanSoul, and you won't want to miss this. OceanSoul is an incredible organization that's taking the world by storm, one literally flip-flop at a time. You might be wondering, what's the big deal about flip-flops? Well, here's the scoop. Millions of discarded flip-flops end up in our oceans every year, polluting the water and harming marine life. It's a serious problem, but OceanSoul has a heartwarming solution. So what exactly is OceanSoul? They're on a mission to clean up our coastlines and create art from washed up flip-flops. That's right. They collect these discarded flip-flops, clean them, and turn them into colorful and captivating sculptures. It's a brilliant way to upcycle waste and support marine conservation. What's truly impressive is that OceanSoul not only cleans the environment, but also provides employment opportunities to artisans in Kenya. These artisans transform the flip-flops into stunning pieces of art, helping to support their families and communities. The best part, you can get involved too. Whether you want to support OceanSoul by purchasing their unique products, becoming a virtual volunteer, donating towards their nonprofit mission, or sharing their incredible work on social media, your support goes a long way in making our oceans cleaner and safer. So do yourself a favor, check out OceanSoul and get inspired by their mission. Follow them on social media, visit their website, and consider purchasing one of their stunning creations. Not only will you own a piece of art, but you'll also be contributing to a cleaner, healthier planet. That's all for this special shout out to OceanSoul. Now let's get back to our regularly scheduled program, but don't forget to support OceanSoul and their incredible work. I'll put all the links in the show notes. They're our sponsor for today. We really appreciate them and the work that they do, as well as their artisans. So be sure to purchase their stuff, their art, as soon as you can. You can get it off their website, and they just have some incredible creations. You're going to love this. All right, now let's get back to the episode. This is what I'm talking about. You know, OceanSoul, although this is the sponsor of today, I wanted to talk to you about learning about these wonderful nonprofit organizations. There's a special thing about these nonprofits that I've discovered in my time working as a marine conservationist and a marine biologist. I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of special people within this field. People who are, pushing the boundaries in terms of what jobs you can get within the field. People who are pushing the boundaries in terms of, pushing the limits in terms of the science that we are finding and going outside the box to learn about new ways that we can discover and learn and understand about the ocean systems and how to protect them. I'm talking about learning the people who are doing things that we don't really see all the time. The people in the background, the people doing great projects, the people working to bring different types of people together, different ocean users, different stakeholders together to come up with a way to manage the ocean, whether through a marine protected area or just manage fisheries, just to make their, not only the ocean better, but also their local community better as well. There's a lot of special people within this field. OceanSoul is one of them. They're pushing the boundaries in terms of how to treat people, how to employ people. It's not all about greed, but about their value, about their impact that they have within their local community. And here we're talking about Kenya. But they're also teaching people about the pollution that comes up from the shore, right? That comes up on the shore from the ocean. The flip-flops, the amount of flips out that they can make, like they're talking about making large giraffes, they're talking about making manta rays, and like some of them that are taller than me, right? And then some that are nice and perfect for your office or for your bedside table or for your iPhone to hold, as they have the Shark iPhone holder. You know, it's amazing what, you know, organizations like OceanSoul can do, but we don't really know much about them. And that's why I approached them to being a sponsor on the show for the last number of times that I've had them on, not only as an interview, but also as, you know, just like to read these ads for them. Because I want people to get to know not only that there are organizations out there like this that are doing some really great things, not only from an environmental perspective, but also from like a social perspective, an economic perspective. I want people to know who they are. The people that work there, you know, the employees that they love so much, that they treat. These are the things that people need to know, because once you get to know a company, an organization, you get to really understand where they're coming from, and you become a fan of what the work that they do, especially from like the smaller nonprofits, medium-sized businesses, smaller businesses. You really get to talk. Sometimes you can talk to the CEO. Sometimes you can talk to, you know, the chief operating officer, or you're talking to like an artist, or you're talking to one of their social media people, or their communications people, or scientists, or, you know, conservationists. You get to talk to anybody in the organization, and they get to say the same thing. They get to say how much they love the organization. And I think that's a true testament to an organization. When we had the two people that we've had on the show from OceanSoul, one was an artisan and one was working as a marine conservationist, we really got to know who they were. We got to know where they came from, how they became employees of OceanSoul and an organization, and that makes me want to support them more. And I don't know about you, and I really want you to reach out to me to find out, like, do you like the information you hear from organizations? You know, especially hearing from the different employees. Oceana Canada is doing a great thing on TikTok. I really love what they're doing. If you go on the Oceana Canada TikTok page or their profile, you can see all the videos they've done, and you'll notice that there are different people in each of those videos. They're not specially edited videos. They're not like overly edited or overly produced. They're literally just people that work for Oceana Canada, either campaign managers or they could be someone from their communications department. They could be a scientist, and they're discussing the problem at hand, what they're trying to solve. And it really gives it from their perspective. You see the passion that comes out from them. Right from the horse's mouth, so to speak, right? The biologist's mouth, the communicator's mouth. You get to hear from them, not just in an email. A couple of weeks ago, I posted an interview that I did with Natalie Gilson. She is a VP for Pisces Research and Project Management, and it's a consulting firm that helps organizations sort of do a lot of their stuff, like a lot of their project management, a lot of their database management, and some of their communications. Really love this consulting company. But we had a great discussion. Natalie and I have known each other for a couple months. We had a great discussion on how nonprofits interact with people, with their constituents, with their supporters. And it was a lot of times it was like, oh, you know, here's a general summary of what needs to be done. So if you donate now, you support us now, then you can help us and get it done. But they never really give you personalized updates on the project. You know what I mean? Like you never really sit down and hear what they've been up to, like in a video or in a podcast interview. And that would be really great, you know, to be able to do that for any and every organization that's out there, to have that communication arm for their supporters. And I'll tell you why. I used to consult, and I still do, for people who are doing, trying to get into the career of marine conservation. And for a while there, I actually found that it was easier to record a video to respond to questions that people had. So I would upload it to my Google Drive, and I would share the link to that person and say, hey, I hope you don't mind. I didn't have time to, it would be easier to talk it out, and I'd be able to say more in a video than I could if I was writing it down. So I hope you don't mind I did this video. And people loved the video. People love the fact that I was personalizing. I was saying the person's name, and I was like, hey, you know what? Like, if you're going to try and get into marine conservation, this is what you should do. I took a read of your resume, and here's what I did. Here's what I would suggest, and so forth. And it was personalized to them. And they wrote back like, wow, a video. I did not expect to get that. It's something that's intimate, right? It's intimate because it's almost like a conversation. You went out of your way to do something special. Now, for me, it was easier to do a video. I'm more comfortable around a video than I am writing everything down. Maybe I'm a bit lazy when I write. I don't know. But regardless, it's something that, I prefer to do. And somebody can see me and they can understand the tone of my voice when I'm actually saying something, right? And I feel like that is a little bit more personable and a little bit easier. But I feel like that's what I would like from my organizations that I support, right? I would be more apt to provide money to an organization, but get updates from them frequently in a video format or an interview format, right? I feel like that would be a great way to get information from them. Monthly updates. I would gladly spend money to get value from that, to find out what projects they were working on. What did they do? What was special about this month that was not about next month? Did you have any successes? What were the challenges you faced? Just from a different person every time. Like maybe you have like that project manager, that campaign manager come on and just be like interviewed by someone. I think that would be a really fun time. And I think that you get a lot of value out of the money that you're given. At least you can sit in. You don't have to listen to all of them, but you can sit in, you can listen to these videos at your leisure and be like, hey, like, this is really cool. I really like this. I get a lot of value out of this. And I feel like that's a great way to spend my money. It's a great way to get value, to find out that my money is going towards projects like these. It may not directly influence those projects, but I bet you that I would be more apt to donate to somebody who's going to give me updates on those projects, on those programs, challenges, successes, and so forth, every month. And then I'll be like, oh yeah, that's right. I do want to donate another month, or I'll put it on like an auto month. It's almost like a Patreon for organizations, right? If you really think about it. And I think that's something of value that I would take. And I wanted to know if that's of value for you. Would you want to hear from organizations where, you pay a certain amount and you hear an interview, right? Because I'll be honest, I'm looking to do this as a service. Team up and partner with an organization, start like a Patreon for that organization. It'd be a special Patreon or however I would do it, and like a membership. And then the people who donate to that would get an interview every month of that organization where somebody would come up and they would, let me know what they think and like what happened that month and what their updates on the different projects, challenges, successes, and so forth. And we would have a great conversation. You would get to know the organization. You get to know the people within the organization. And then you get to know how their project's done and how your money is being spent. To be honest, like that's really what it comes down to. And you would get a lot of value because you come out of that being like, oh, cool. Like this is what it's doing. Then you can use it in conversations. People are going to be like, hey, what do you, if you donate to an organization, what do you know? How do you know it's going to good use? Like, what are you looking at? Like, what are you supporting? And then because you've been hearing updates of this all the time. I think that's important. I think that's really, really important. And I would like to see more of that. I really would. I think that would be something that would be of really good value. So I would like to know from you. Hit me up on Instagram at How to Protect the Ocean. That's at How to Protect the Ocean. You can also email me if you go to speakupforblue.com/contact. There's a form you fill out. It goes right to my email. I would love to hear from you on this. Like, would you be willing to pay for a kind of like an update? You get an interview a month. How much would you be willing to pay? Some of that money would go towards me, and a percentage of that money would go towards the organization. So, would you be interested? How much would you be willing to pay? And how much would you expect it to go to the organization? That's what I would love, like a percentage. That's what I would love to hear from you. I just think it's an interesting way of doing things, and it's a great way to get an organization, and also a great way to spend your money and donate to charity where you're just like, I get value out of this, and I know it goes towards a good cause, and I get to meet the people who are doing it. I think that's I think that's a value, but I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Let me know in DM or email, whatever you would like. I would really appreciate that. And of course, don't forget to check out OceanSoul. You know, the link will be in the show notes. You can check it out. You know, if you buy something, let me know how it goes. I would love to hear what you bought, how you why you bought it, that kind of stuff. And your experience with, receiving the package and everything and opening up. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. I have a few of the of the items myself. I have a manta ray, I have a shark iPhone holder, I have a sea turtle, and I have a pineapple, which is kind of cool. They're all fun to watch, or fun to have, and it's really cool. My kids love them. I love them. They're great presents. They're really colorful, and they're just amazing to have. They brighten up the room. But anyway, that's it for today's episode. I'd love to hear from you. Hit me up at How to Protect the Ocean on Instagram, speakupforblue.com/contact to contact me. And don't forget to check out OceanSoul. That's it for today's episode of the How to Protect the Ocean podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Lewin. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time, and happy conservation.